Hey everyone, so today's video is super exciting because one, I'm going to be showing you how to make these adorable little pumpkin pies in a jar, and I'm going to be showing you pumpkin pie inspired makeup plus extra. This is a collab video with Cass Loves Makeup XX. She's an amazing girl. I will leave her channel and her video, which you'll have to go to her channel to find out what it is, down in the description box below. And now let's get started on how to make these really easy and super delicious pumpkin pies in a jar for fall, and also the makeup. But first, let's start off with the ingredients for the pumpkin pie. My recipe was only supposed to make around 6 jam jars, however I had enough to make about 8 or 9, but just keep in mind that you can double this recipe or triple it or do whatever you need to do. So you're going to need at least 6 jars. I just use these jam jars. You can use any size though, that'll just be able to take high heat. A can of pumpkin puree, can of condensed milk, some cinnamon, and also any pie crust that you want to use, whether you make it at home or you use, all pre-made ones like this. I actually ended up using some puff pastry crust as well, but whatever type of crust will work. Also need 1 egg, pumpkin pie spice, and any topping: whipped cream, cinnamon, or I like to use this cookie butter, which I'll talk more about in a second. So first off, we're going to preheat our oven to 425 degrees. So yeah, while that's preheating, let's make the pumpkin pie actual mix. So you're going to only use half the can of pumpkin pie, half a can of pumpkin. You can, as I said, double it and use the whole can or whatever you want to, but you'll only need for 6 little jars about half the can. And then the same thing for the condensed milk, only half a can of the sweetened condensed milk. And then you're just going to want to stir all that up together. Then after it's pretty well mixed, I'm just going to add the 1 egg, just the egg whites and the yolk, just add it both in there and mix that together as well. And now we're going to add some other stuff. So you're going to want to use a teaspoon of cinnamon, just a teaspoon. Wait for you, but not forever. It's up to you, I'll wait for you. And then also a teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice. I'll wait for you, but not forever. Now you really just want to mix that all up again, and then this is where the consistency / color you should get. It's just sort of thick, but not super thick. It still has sort of a watery resistance to it. And as you can see, the thickness right here. And now for the crust. So I lit my puff pastry. It said to let it defrost for about 45 minutes, so I did, and now I just cut it into some squares to fit my jar, and then you're just going to press it in. So whatever crust you use, defrost as it says in the box, or if you make it, then you'll know for yourself. But after it defrosts, you're just going to want to fill it into the little jars, just however much it fits, and really press it down on the sides. If I could change anything this recipe, like what I did, I would probably not use as much crust because I felt like I used too much crust and not enough pumpkin pie. So I would have made the sides a little bit thinner and not as thick, but it was fine just like that. And I did it both with puff pastry and regular pie crust, and puff pastry was definitely fluffier, but pie crust looked a little better. So here's all 6 jars filled. And now we're going to fill it up with our pumpkin filling, the pumpkin pie. So I'm just taking about 2 to 3 scoops of it for each one. Again, I wish I had less crust so I could have filled it up more, but that's okay. As you can see, just almost to the top. But you want to leave space at the top of the crust and not fill it up all the way, because you want to be able to put the lid back on, as you'll see at the end. And then, so yeah, just filling that up with a couple spoonfuls. And now we're going to put it in our 425 degree oven. I just put them on this little rack, pizza rack, but you can put them straight in the oven just regularly. Just placed them all in there, and then set the timer for first 15 minutes on 425 degrees. And then after that goes off, then you're going to want to cancel it and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And then put it in for another 30 minutes. This is just standard pumpkin pie cooking time, and we're just going to follow that. 35 minutes, because we're just going to follow that for these little jars. And then once you take them out, this is what mine look like. As you can see, the one in the far back is what I use regular crust, and all the others I use puff pastry. Now you can put whipped cream on top. my favorite thing to do is actually to put this cookie butter from Trader Joe's. It tastes like fall and Christmas. It's basically ginger snaps. It just tastes like cinnamon cookies and, well, like gingerbread cookies. So yeah, I'm just spreading this on the top, and as you can see, it melted since the pie was still hot, and it just tasted so good. But if you're not a big fan, you can put whipped cream like usual, or sprinkle some cinnamon on top as well, and that's really good too. And now you can just put on the lid if you want after they're cooled, and this is perfect to take in your lunchbox or to go to work or anywhere else. And that is how to make these little portable pumpkin pies that are just perfect for the fall time because they're easy to make. You can make it for your family or just make a few for yourself. Now let's get on to the pumpkin pie inspired makeup, which is basically just really warm. I still wanted to make it wearable though. So yeah, if you look closely, there's a lot more intricate details. But let's get started with just priming my eyelids by applying my Maybelline Color Tattoo and Barely Branded. This also, when I apply it on the brow bone, just sort of, I guess you can say, acts like the crust on our eyes, just because it adds some brightness there. And then I'll be using the Sparkle Till Morning palette from Wet n Wild for all the eyeshadows. So first I'm taking this eyelid color. It's not too shimmery, not too matte. But we're just going to be applying that to the lid and sort of blending up into the crease as well. Then taking the sparkly eyelid color and just applying this to the center of the lid, and also going up a little into the crease, but also mostly focusing it on the center of the lid. Now I'm taking this orangish red crease color with gold sparkles in it and just applying it to the crease, focusing on the outer part of my eye and just blending it in sort of in like a triangle shape. Then I'm going to be mixing that same color with the color next to it, which is just a little bit darker of a brown than the eyelid color we used earlier, and then doing the same thing with these two colors, just adding it on and layering. Then adding just a little bit more of that sparkly color that we used at the beginning, just to make it even more sparkly. And then I'm going to be just deepening it even more and taking it a little bit higher on my eye. Now I'm taking the definer color, which is just like a dark brown with a little bit of gold sparkles. And I'm just taking this on a slight smudging brush and just applying this to my upper lash line. And just like smudging it in and blending. And then also a little bit on my lower lash line just to define the eyes and work as an eyeliner. And then just applying my favorite everyday mascara. Young love, so much potential. Since the eyes are so neutral, then you can basically take any fun lip color that you like or natural lip color, but I'm going to be taking this really pretty berry color from Revlon. It is the Revlon Lip Butter and Raspberry Pie, and just applying a little bit onto my lips will give a little color there, and that is the finished makeup look. I hope you all enjoyed. Go check out Cassie's makeup below and her recipe for hot chocolate. Who doesn't want that? And yeah, that is it. See you all on Saturday. Bye.
Just like when we were kids, steal the car and drive